I think the motto of Engage is like in Engage, and we're family. So now I've been coming here for a few years now, and I'm very happy to finally be reading here. So just as a quick news flash, tomorrow I'll begin another very familiar platform, which is VR Chat. So I've chosen the room Good Night Moon, which is based on a children's storybook. So if I'm in the mood, I might read the storybook and then a section from my own as well. So that should be something delightful. Um, but yeah, no, I'll do a bit more of the updates at the end of the reading. But for now, I'm going to bring you Mirror Box. So the novel Mirror Box, I've finally pinned down the genre, which is paranormal, late stage build-in drama. So it's someone kind of at the end of the transition of life, like into adulthood. But like he's met with some psychological difficulties and believes he is seeing demons and so forth. But all of that isn't important because what I'm going to read to you is actually just a dream sequence. Like it's a self-contained little piece of a dream that he's having. So if you've read the novel, you would recognize some of the themes. You would see that some characters, they're actually posing as different characters, but actually you don't need to know any of that. It's just a dream, as they say, as the great Bard once told us. So, so if you'll allow me, I'll just begin. Please tell me if my mic goes out or something. But yeah, let me get started. Yeah, my hands are gonna dangle, so don't be disturbed because I'm holding the pages. As I tramped through the pebble beach, the sun was setting at my back. It was a humble, low-burning sunset that you wouldn't find in any postcards, but the subtle beauty filled me with high spirits. Seagulls were huddled on the small stone watching the scene with an arctic breeze, tossing my hair and pressing my button-down camel hair coat against me. A short walk down the beach, there was a watchtower with a flattened conical roof perched atop a solid gray cliff. Nightshade was cast over the earth, and the light of the watchtower flicked on strangely as if it were an old basement light with frayed wiring. I walked towards the cliff. Quickly arriving at the base, I met with the 300 or so steps that climbed the rock face. I shrugged and climbed the steps patiently and tirelessly, with my eyes always at the next step. My legs felt the strain, but it didn't augment with each step as it should have. Pebbles often tumbled over the side, and the wind's howl was symmetric, more like a sound effect CD than an act of nature. I didn't look down until I arrived at the top, and even then it didn't spark a reaction in me, as if weakness and mortality no longer held any meaning. There was a porch of solid cement bordered by a black-hinged railing. I climbed the 3 steps onto the porch and entered the watchtower's doorless entryway. Inside, there was an anti-clockwise spiral staircase. They were just plain grades of cement within indecorous white walls, occasionally disrupted by narrow vertical windows. Even within the staircase, the wind shrilled, but it was only felt physically as a draft. I emerged into the main room, meeting with another sparse decor. From within, the room was square, with stone pillars at each corner and glass walls on every side. Central to the room was the man-sized light that was casting a rotating bi-directional beam from floor to ceiling. It struck me full on the face, and I threw up my arms to protect my eyes. The light seemed to linger on my face as if it were getting acquainted with me. Before my sight returned, I heard a sharp creak near the glass wall facing the sea. Through the blinding stars, I could see the vague outline of a man rising from his chair. A strong, white-haired voice called, come in, lad." After a second, I could make out 2 rocking chairs sitting beside each other, a human wingspan apart. They were turned away inward at 45 degrees, so a person could face their companion and the sea at the same time. The old man was smoking a hand-carved pipe, and his tobacco smelled of burnt licorice. His left eye was kept narrower than his right, as if assessing the value of a precious gem, and his bearded chin protruded sharply outward, giving him a passing resemblance to a pelican. Nearing him, I said, "Ah, thank you, that was a long climb." That is, he responded, rocking in his seat. "Were you expecting someone? I see you have an extra chair." "No, I weren't expecting no one in particulars." "Ah, okay." Puffing his pipe, he said, uh, "Always happy to meet the odd traveler, someone passing by who wants to come up and share the view. It is a lovely view." "That is, There was a long pause between statements. Then he continued. Then I continued, excuse me. So what is your job, really?" He sneered like I'd just asked the color of the sky. He said, "I'm the watcher." Yeah, I understand that, but what do your job responsibilities include?" "Well, first I make sure that no one crashes into the shore. If they make a landing, I'll help them here safely. And if they have another problem, I'll help them with those too. But mostly the ships don't come here. They'll see the light and steer away from it." "Not very many people come here then?" No, not many." "Have you been here long?" "Ah, indeed. I've been here for ages. Eons, it seems." "Oh, I figured you had." The watcher moved his free hand from his knee to his upper thigh and inconspicuously started rubbing it. He ceased rocking, and leaning forward in his chair, he said hoarsely, "You know, it does get mighty lonely up here." I tensed up, grabbing the armrest and staring at the dark horizon. I cleared my throat loudly and suggested, "Well, then maybe you should get a pet." He sneered and leaned back again, rocking stiffly. "I do have a pet. Got a dog," he said, pointing with the tip of his pipe. He added, "That's over there." In the corner there was a frighteningly ugly dog sitting on its side. Uh, you didn't, you couldn't place the breed, but its pointed snout and stumpy legs made it look more like a solid gray Tasmanian devil than a real dog. Once my attention was on it, the beast snored audibly and continued doing so. "Mutt!" the man called. "Wake up and come over here." Its head darted up and looked straight at me, purple eyes shimmering like the breast of a peacock. It cried once, when it woke, then whined miserably as it hobbled toward us. The dog was nursing its right forepaw, tucking its leg inward to keep it from hitting the ground. The beast was obviously in a great deal of pain. When it had limped to my feet, the round-bodied dog sat down, resting its paw tentatively on the ground. "Mutt, say hello to our young friend." I leaned to pat its head, but suddenly the dog arched its neck, narrowed its eyes, and bore its many sharp teeth. I pulled my legs into my seat, nearly teetering over, and the gray dog growled at me and gave an accusing stare. The man jumped from his chair and swatted the dog's rump with the back of his hand, sending the dog yelping back into the corner. Despite its panic, the dog still lifted its forepaw, keenly aware of its pain. Forgive me for that. Usually a nice dog, but once in a while it gets something up its craw. It's harmless, though, wouldn't really bite you." I heard a soft growl from the corner. "That's fine. He just startled me a bit. What's wrong with his paw?" "I can't really say. About 2-3 weeks ago, the damn thing started limping for no reason at all. And day by day, it started getting worse. It doesn't even like to put its foot on the ground no more. If you touch it, the dog screams. So I can't say what's wrong exactly. Maybe it got bit by a crab or stung by a scorpion, and now it's gun-shy." "Maybe you should send it to a therapist," I suggested. "Yeah, could do. We both turned to the view as clusters of stars lit in the sky and reflected in the sea, along with the waning crescent moon. The watchtower light struck us full on the back every half-minute, for those moments nearly drowning us in light. After much delay, I thought about the foolishness of suggesting a pet therapist to a man who works in a watchtower. He probably agreed only to give the impression that he was a responsible owner. The social gap between us suddenly seemed too much to bridge. I leaned forward and lifted my right hand with the intention of shaking his. But he said, "Rest a while more, my friend. Yeah, the show's about to start." Taking my seat again, I said, "Show? Light show, 'cause today is some type of holiday. Don't know what it's about, though. Don't have a mind to know either." I shrugged inwardly and continued rocking casually. If there was a show, it was the perfect place to watch. I had no other destination in mind anyway. I didn't have to wait long. As soon as I decided to stay, a dark object, no more than a spot, snaked noiselessly across the sky above the sea. The firework burst against the aerial ceiling. A few violet sparks launched from the blast, and long purple tails extending from the guiding lights. The sound of the explosion came seconds later, and there was a hard crackle of tiny whitish sparks inside the tail. The lead sparks fell softly like 5 illuminated snowflakes, while the sea gave a curved reflection of the purple sparks falling upwards, until they met and fizzled in a smoke that was too distant to see. "That was it?" I asked. The watcher grumbled. "No, more's coming." As promised, another one took flight, and then a series of fireworks zigzagged their way through the night sky. At different points and altitudes they burst, some going as far as the horizon, and others exploding loudly overhead. The beam of the lighthouse continued its fixed path across the sky. Its light swallowed the bright sparks wherever they met. There was fixedness about the fireworks, too, as the exploding fireworks were not the multicolored array you might expect, only purple, and they held 5 sparks apiece, looking like an amputee spider or the digits of a hand. It was no less beautiful for its limited palette, and the reproduced light bursts within the sea brought a sense of unity to a display that would normally be explosive chaos. The old man asked, "So what do you think?" "It's nice." That is, It's not very colorful, though, is it?" He stopped rocking suddenly and took the pipe from his lips. "What do you mean?" "What do you mean, what do you mean? It's only one color. They're all purple. It's nice, though. Different, but still nice." The watcher leaned back, taking his eyes off me and replacing his pipe. He rocked a little more. I continued, "You'd have to be very precise to get the same color and same number of sparks every time. It's almost pyromancy to make that happen." "Pardon?" "I mean, it would almost take magic to stabilize the chaotic elements of a fiery explosion. I imagine the firework manufacturer must have been a highly trained watchmaker in a past life to get that level of consistency." The old man sighed, as if he were reading the newspaper and found the market share value of an investment had taken a marginal dip. He said, "Boy, you're a mite intellectual, and I don't understand a bloomin' thing that you say, but you're all right. I'm just explaining that." He interrupted me. The booming sky immediately silenced as the watcher stood up and cut me off. "Oh, and take a look at that. The show's over. No sense in talking about it no more, is there? Now I wonder, how did the fireworks get so far out from the shore? They couldn't have flown that distance, and there aren't any boats floating out there. And who let them if you're alone in this place?" The watcher closed his eyes as if he were stranded on a sailboat in the ocean and praying for wind. He arched his neck forward and puffed deeply from his pipe until it emitted a red glow. Holding the smoke in his lungs, he opened his eyes and rolled them towards me. As he relaxed his jaw, letting smoke rise from his mouth, there was a startling hiss, and then a crash against the ceiling. The impact rocked the room and tossed me backward from my chair, causing me to somersault into the central glass case, banging my head against it. Shocked, frantic, I looked up and I saw a crack and charcoal black streak across the ceiling. I hurried to my feet, and fighting for breath, I looked over at the old man, the ceiling, the old man again, and the dog. The watcher didn't seem the least bit interested, while the dog stood gazing curiously at me. It gruntled and hobbled out of its corner. It followed a curved path between the rocking chairs and came directly towards me in the center. Stopping a few feet away, I locked eyes with the dog, which was now wagging its tail and seemed to be smiling, as it rested its hurt paw on the ignited firework that found its way into the room. With his back to us, the watcher laughed. "Ah, my mistake." Guess the show wasn't quite over yet. I was breathing quickly, deciding whether to run, yell, or kick it away. But before I could act, the old man turned to us, pursed his lips, and softly said, "Boom." On command, the tunnel appeared beneath us, swallowing myself, the dog, and the dormant explosive. Alright, and that's it. Yeah, that's the end. No, appreciate an audience. So yeah, I'll take questions if you have a few. Yeah, Michael's been to a few, but yeah, for everyone else, I guess it's your first time on the tour. Uh, that's a good question. I started, I believe, in 2008, and I finished in 2008. so, so, uh, so yeah. No, this is something that I've had for a while. Uh, I before this book, I had written four other books that didn't quite meet a standard of public release, but this one I was always happy with. But I never found a home with it in the traditional sense. So, um, like as 2020 was ending, I decided, you know what, like if I get nothing else out of this stupid year, I'm just gonna publish this book. So so I spent a couple months doing another round of edits and giving it a bit of polish, and then yeah, just published it myself. So, but yeah, yeah. In answer to your question, I wrote it a long time ago over the period of a few months while I was, you know, transitioning between one country and another. Yeah. Yeah, no, I did want to mention because, as I said up top, I'll be in VR chat tomorrow, so hopefully, you'll come back or more people will come because most people are very familiar with VR chat. Um, but after that, I have, I think, 10 more days and 8 or 9 more days. So, like, at the moment, I'm adding some places that I missed along the way. For example, on Monday, I'll be going to Tivoli Cloud VR, which for the VR crowd, they might be very interested in that because Tivoli has been known for a while as a creator platform, but they turned it into a virtual world, and I think it came out really recently, and I very recently discovered it too. So I'm gonna go there, give another reading, and then we can explore that as a group. Um, I believe they have at least one example of photogrammetry there, which I've seen already. They did some like Buddhist relics in a place called Photogrammetry Corner, I think, or something like that. Uh, but but yeah, as for the entire tour, it's been a lot of VR or cross-platform events, but also a lot of non-VR events. Because for myself, in the last year, I've also transitioned from being like pure VR to very interested in virtual worlds generally. So some of the biggest non-VR ones, or non-typically VR ones, would be like Roblox or Second Life, which I did a few days ago. Well, so. Sure. I didn't. Your audio cut out a bit, but I think the question was, how was the experience of the virtual tour for delivering content? What is the biggest benefit? Yeah, I guess it's just access because it requires. It doesn't require like a financial investment, and I don't have to travel to do it. So I can do it just by deciding like I'm having an event that day. Um, so that is the biggest advantage. To make it like to fill every house, I realize that you have to like get involved with the communities individually and like really let them know that it's happening because virtual worlds very often are segmented so much that you're just like speaking to a small group of people who are on that platform. So you need to like individually make them aware, and uh, and they would need to contact other people. But to do that realistically, I would need like a tour manager, like or just to do it for a whole year or something. Like it's been really great to learn about these platforms, and I'll write an exhaustive blog that covers like my experience in each of them. But I've tended to like focus on a few of the events, and then others like just like something happens, like someone might come in and troll me, or like I just discover something weird about the place, uh, and and that's totally fine. But I expect to like circle back, perhaps, and and revisit some of them, having done a little more legwork and talk to the community, like where I might not have had an audience before, so that we can make a bigger event. Yeah, no, thank you, Fred. Oh yeah, Andre, always. No, no, for me too. No, I was. No, no, I'm in VR. I'm in VR. No, no, I was in VR. No, no, I just no, no, no. It's yeah. Oh, sure. No, I'm holding the pages. I like put it here as an image file. Uh, no, no, no. I didn't do that, but that's a good idea. so, so Andre, before you move on to the next question, it's like I have like whenever I'm in VR, I'm literally holding like physical pages, and I just slip my headset upward and let my hands dangle like that. But I have at these events sometimes had a book in front of me, like a pretend copy of my book, and just like pretended to be reading that. But I didn't this time because I respect you too much. Right. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, Andre, no, it's a really good idea and a really good comment. I think I've been doing this for 3 weeks now in so many platforms that don't have that capability that I just forgot that that was an option. Just escaped my mind. But yeah. I might. I mean, I've heard a lot about it, but I have a couple invites, I think. But yeah, I think my iPhone is too old for that. Yeah, yeah. Which I am. Yeah, I think it will work on my iPad though. I think it will work on my iPad. My iPhone is too old. I know that, but yeah, no, I definitely would. Yeah, once this is over and once I've put a blog together, like sometime in March, I would be very happy to start talking about that experience. And yeah, definitely. Hi, Marty. Welcome. Yeah, I didn't see you come in. Oh, sure. Uh, I mean, there's not much reason to connect and engage. I come about once a month, like when some event is happening. So I'm not a super casual user, but I do come like once in a while. But I have, yeah. No, but if you mean just how to contact me or get information about the book, I have a store page. It's just mirrorbox.carrd.co. So mirrorbox.card with two R's .co. So like through there, you have. It's a very very simple site. It has a link to the store page. It has like 5 or 6 different links to my social media. But yeah, through the store pages, you can get it on like Amazon either as a Kindle or a paperback. I mean, you're in the U.S., so you can get it as a paperback. But to some, there are some other stores there as well. And for each of these events, I make a landing page as well. So I've been on the tour page you can see the upcoming events, like the next two that are happening, and then when they finish, I take those pages down and put up the next one. So as you can imagine, when you go to these virtual worlds, some of them are not so straightforward. Like some require a download, like some require a search, like to get to a specific place. So on each of those pages, I make it very clear. Uh, that. No, no, no. I'll come down. I'll come down so it's not weird anymore. Oh, sure. So no, I wanted to ask Fred. So, yeah, they're active here and also in alt space. Uh, if you look around that. Oh no, I'm worried about Martin. Yeah, so yeah, as I mentioned to Fred, the page is mirrorbox.carrd.co, and there you have access to like 7 or 8 different online stores, and the only paperback version is on Amazon. So, so yeah, you can do that, and I've seen a couple of people send me pictures of it, which is nice. Yeah, I've never seen a physical copy myself, but uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, sure. So yeah, um, it's not a spoiler to say, but very early in the book, the protagonist mentions that he loses one of his hands, specifically his right hand. So our association with our bodies and is a big part of it. And like being the title Mirror Box, uh, you might guess that also phantom pains are involved, meaning like when you lose a limb, you continue to feel as if it's still there, like if it's still connected to your body. So so uh, so that that theme is there, and there are clues as to the identity of the dog from details in the descriptions and the actions, but I won't spoil that too much for people who do read it. Um, but other themes are kind of the it's funny saying it in virtual reality, but like the constructed nature of reality, uh, which appears in a lot of these dream sequences in other ways. Just like things take on a dream reality. For example, like there was a detail about like the wind, like following the same cyclical sound. Like it was just a sound effect played on a loop, uh, and and like you've heard that this character, the Watcher, um, he was getting very frustrated with the character just because he kept poking at the non-reality of some of the things. So just asking like, why did it do this? Why did it do that? And and he was clearly annoyed by that and just wanted to end the conversation. So the theme about the reality of like the reality. I'll just put it that way. There are questions about that too, like within the dream. Yeah, I think those are the two main ones, but yeah, like you'll see those themes repeated like across the dreams. But but yeah, the narrator himself is very unreliable, so you have to just watch for those themes. But that said, it's not like a completely abstract book. It does follow a specific and well-defined narrative arc. So, like any average reader could pick it up and understand it, because I'm never very like obtuse about what's happening. So, like the writer will say, "This part is a dream." like this is what I think like about this, and like if there's even a section in the book where he's like this is how my evening went if I try to write it in egoless narrative, and then he does that, like just removing himself from everything that happened to him. So just things like that. Yeah. Sure. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think it was 2008. But yeah, no, I mean, I mentioned it in another reading, but when I wrote this, I was actually like between countries, and I went to India just because like I had some personal disappointments and I just wanted to leave it. So I spent like 6 months in India, and like honestly, I was in not a commune per se, but like kind of like someone's vision of a utopia that was built into this small town, and then they just kind of abandoned the whole utopia thing and said, you know what, we'll just live here and do organic farming if you want to. so, so I was surrounded by people who were just kind of exploring like the nature of reality through a Hindu perspective. So like Vedic scholars and things like that, and a lot of that was kind of like seeping into my own mind. so, so what came out of me was like questions about that as well. But yeah, I don't know if it's a coincidence. Well, okay. Uh, uh, right. I can't. I mean, the financial crisis didn't affect me at all. Like for me, it was just something that happened on the news. So like I'm not sure. But like as far as world events, because like at the time, uh, like at the time, I had I had money and I didn't have an immediate need to work, so I just kind of left it all behind and didn't even check the news really. So, so yeah, I was probably at the most like globally disconnected time of my life. Like when I was sitting down and writing this book, because it was just the most important thing that needed to happen at the time. So uh, no, I mean the Watcher. I don't want to give too much away about him, but it's like when you get to this part of the book, you understand that he's like he doesn't correlate. Well, he might correlate to one specific person, but you might not make that correlation. There are almost no clues to that. But no, I mean I identify with the protagonist in some very specific ways, and that is like not wanting to know, not wanting to, not knowing what to do next exactly. So, um, and coming up with like my own answer for what I want to do with my life. That wouldn't be like someone else's answer. So, so at that point, I had like very modest success in one area, but I just kind of decided against it because there were other things that I had to do at the time, like other experiences that I had to have. So, so I identify with him a lot, even though there are some things that you read about and you're like, no, that's not me exactly. That's not anybody. No, did Martin give up? No, no, thank you, Andre. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm in VR chat tomorrow, so maybe I'll personally invite him. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You bet. You bet. Hope to see you again. All right. Bye. No, no, that's okay. No, absolutely. I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, just yeah, keep in touch. Like all my contact details are on the page that I told you. So so yeah, feel free. You can check out tour details. Like I have a list of dates, like total 28 different dates over a period of 6 weeks. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You bet. Hi. Yeah, thank you as well, Michael. Yeah. Here, let me wait. Hold on, hold on.